We already started the countdown of the top 10 most scandalous lawsuits filed against Bob Barker and The Price is Right. Today, we are here to finish off that list with the top 5. If you haven't already seen numbers 10 through 6, check those out here. We'll get right into this countdown, but please, if you haven't already done so, subscribe and comment, "I subscribed," so that I can say hello to you in the comment section. Here we go. Number 5, Claudia Jordan versus Bob Barker and The Price is Right. Many of us know Claudia Jordan from her time on Celebrity Apprentice and her short stint on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and more recently for reading NeNe Leakes online, and more importantly, her hosting jobs on Fox Soul. Well, before all of that, she was a Barker beauty. And in 2004, Claudia Jordan filed a lawsuit against Bob Barker and The Price is Right because of one lusty producer who allegedly wouldn't keep his hands off of her. Claudia alleged that producer Phil Rossi Wayne sexually harassed her and made her time on the show a living hell, and that after she filed a formal complaint against the producer with Human Resources, she was fired. So, she filed a lawsuit for wrongful termination, sexual harassment, and race discrimination. In her court statements, Claudia revealed that Phil Rossi often referred to her as the butt model, and that he constantly made sexual advances towards her, and that he would touch her inappropriately, including one time when she stood in front of a mirror while wearing a bathing suit. She said, quote, "I was in the mirror one day doing my makeup, and my supervisor came behind me, Phil Rossi, and he put his hand on my butt, and he whispered in my ear, 'Nice butt,'" unquote. She also stated that Rossi would yell and scream profanities and even spat at her for being late, when the truth was that Phil ordered someone to move the clocks up a few notches to make it look like Claudia showed up at the studio late. So, Claudia reported Rossi, the touchy-feely producer, to another producer, Roger Dobkowitz. Roger reported the incidents to Bob Barker. Then Bob Barker issued a stern warning to Claudia. He told her that if she continued to be late, that she would be fired. Now, she did make it very clear in her court statements that Bob Barker himself had never sexually harassed her. But Claudia included him in her lawsuit because she felt that he had some responsibility because he was the executive producer of the show, and he did nothing to help her when it was reported to him that she was being harassed by Phil Rossi. Regarding Bob Barker, she said, quote, "I do believe that he knew everything that was going on." And Claudia eventually settled out of court and received an undisclosed amount of money. Number 4, Brandi Cochran versus The Price is Right. Even though Bob Barker left The Price is Right in 2007, the bad work environment that he created for some women didn't leave with him. In March 2010, model Brandi Cochran sued the show. She claimed that she miscarried her child due to harsh treatment by the producers, who discouraged models from getting pregnant. No claims have been made against the show's current host, Drew Carey. Let's be clear on that. But the history of intimidation, abuse of power, sexual harassment, and discrimination that Bob Barker created seems to have stayed. Brandi Cochran claimed The Price is Right producers had sidelined and harassed her after she became pregnant. According to Brandi's lawsuit, she observed The Price is Right producers harassing others who had gotten pregnant on the show, so she delayed trying to conceive her child out of fear of losing her job. After she got pregnant in 2007, she said that she didn't tell her coworkers at first because she didn't want to be fired. Brandi said that she finally told producer Kathy Greco in 2008 that she was pregnant, and that Greco responded that she wasn't surprised because her bust had become large. Brandi Cochran also alleged that Price is Right producer Michael Richards, who was mentioned in the first half of his countdown, then didn't talk to her as frequently, and he implied to her that she would have been one of the models fired had she not kept her pregnancy a secret. She also said that she was pressured to announce her pregnancy on the air, and that when she delivered the news that she was carrying twins, she was given less work. During this time, Brandy also claimed that she was subject to jokes in the workplace from colleagues who made fun of her weight gain. Yes, her pregnancy weight gain. Sadly, one of her twins died as a result of a miscarriage. The other twin was born 3 months premature with pulmonary problems. Brandy says she was extremely stressed after giving birth, caring for her newborn's special needs, and at the same time, trying to lose weight so that she could get back to work. But Brandy alleged that producers sent her mixed signals about whether she would be allowed to return. She later discovered that she had been removed from the Price is Right website and then fired. At trial, the producer, Michael Richards, denied that he treated Brandy unfavorably, and the producer who Brandy first told about her pregnancy, Kathy Greco, testified that other models were not allowed to work during pregnancy. Brandy Cochran's attorney asked for $8 million in damages, and Brandy won more than $8.5 million in compensatory and punitive damages against the show's producers in her pregnancy discrimination case. But the award was overturned in March of 2013 by the trial judge, who said that he gave the jury a wrong instruction. Ouch. So, Brandy Cochran settled for an undisclosed sum in 2016. Number 3. Holly Hallstrom versus Bob Barker and The Price is Right. Holly Hallstrom sued Bob Barker and The Price is Right in 1995, saying that she was fired from the show for gaining weight and for not agreeing to give interviews to the press, telling false stories that Bob Barker had fed her about Diane Parkinson, another Barker beauty whose lawsuit is in this countdown. Bob Barker answered by countersuing her for slander. As for the unlawful termination part of Holly's lawsuit, she claimed that she had been fired after a prescription medication caused her to gain weight. Bob Barker and Holly Hallstrom fought each other in court for years. That seemed to be the way that Bob Barker would try to handle these cases, to out-lawyer the women by filing appeal after appeal after appeal, knowing that their pockets weren't deep enough to keep paying for legal counsel, having the ultimate hope that they would just be too financially broke and too spiritually broken to continue. It was even reported that Holly Hallstrom spent all of her money on the lawsuits and ended up living in her car for a while, until eventually receiving a multi-million-dollar settlement. Bob Barker's countersuit for slander was thrown out. The court declared Holly Hallstrom the prevailing party, so she won a settlement. Number 2. Deborah Curling versus Bob Barker and The Price is Right. Bob Barker claimed that he wanted to retire in 2007, before he got old, he said. But rumors had begun to surface that he was being pushed out because of yet another threatened lawsuit. This time, the accusation was racial discrimination. A mere 4 months after Bob Barker's last episode, Deborah Curling, a black woman who had been a contestant screener on The Price is Right for 24 years, filed a suit against Barker and The Price is Right producers. Deborah Curling claimed racial discrimination, sexual harassment, mental harassment, and abuse. She had also previously testified against Bob Barker in the case brought by a female production assistant named Linda Reigard. The Deborah Curling case would be Bob's 9th lawsuit in only a 13-year span. She was one of the few women who filed suits against Bob Barker who allegedly refused to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Her case seemed to have a lot of weight because it appears to be the reason that Bob Barker suddenly left The Price is Right after it was filed. A lot of people know that part, but what they don't know is that just the year before Deborah filed her suit, in 2006, Bob had signed a 5-year extension to stay on the show. Then just like that, poof, he retires again, making her case look even stronger to the people who knew what was going on behind the scenes. One source even says that Bob retired on the same day as Deborah Curling. Soon after she filed a civil rights suit against Bob Barker, she said, when she testified in the Linda Reichert lawsuit against Bob, she was suddenly subjected to a hostile work environment. In the court documents, she laid the blame on Bob for creating an extremely difficult work environment, specifically one in which Black employees and even Black contestants were discriminated against. She also accused Bob Barker himself of making racist and anti-Semitic jokes. And Deborah Curling's case was eventually dismissed. The judge said that she was not able to prove that Bob Barker made racist and anti-Semitic jokes. In an interview after the trial, Deborah's attorney said that he would file an appeal, but I have not been able to find anywhere on record where an appeal was filed. And finally, number 1, Diane Parkinson versus Bob Barker and The Price is Right. The most high-profile case against Bob Barker came from Barker beauty Diane Parkinson. Remember Diane? She sued Bob Barker and The Price is Right in 1994 for $8 million. She claimed that she had been forced to have sex with Bob Barker in order to keep her job before she was wrongfully fired. At first, Barker completely denied the charge, but later, he changed his tune and admitted to having a consensual sexual relationship with Diane Parkinson for a year and a half. Yes, he had been married, but by this time he was a widow. His wife died in 1981. Diane claimed that Bob Barker turned her into his personal sex slave. She said that he forced her into sleazy acts that triggered health issues and ultimately a miscarriage. According to Diane, Bob Barker threatened to have her fired unless she submitted to his slimy sexual cravings, which are so disgusting that I cannot go into detail about them on this channel. Diane said he'd call her into his dressing room for sex, and she gave in to protect her job. Diane claims Barker's sexual abuse left her with a bleeding ulcer, and she quit to save her life in June of 1993. The show's execs bought her silence by continuing to pay her $2,000 every 2 weeks, which had been her regular pay for over a decade on The Price is Right. They said it was medical compensation for the ulcer. She filed an $8 million lawsuit against Bob Barker and the show producers for sexual harassment in 1994. The suit claims he had extorted her into a 3-year affair with threats of firing that resulted in a miscarriage. And a judge eventually dismissed the wrongful termination part of the suit, but he let the sexual harassment charge stand. She was forced to drop the suit in April of 1995 due to legal costs. She cited her specific reasons for dropping the lawsuit as medical distress and insufficient funds to pay for legal fees. Wow. What if those Barker beauties had waited until about 3 years ago in 2017 to start filing these claims against Bob Barker? Do you think that he would be in prison now, right along with Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby? Let me know your answer to that in the comments, please. Well, from number 10 down to number 1, those are the most scandalous lawsuits filed against Bob Barker and/or The Price is Right. Let me know if you agree with the order of this list. And in case you didn't get to see the first half of this countdown, I will link that video in the description box below. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ty Said What Ty Said channel. Please leave a thumbs up and comment so that we can get a discussion going. And share this video on all of your social media, especially your Facebook. That really helps me out a lot. And subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know when my next video is ready for you. And if you don't like what I'm saying, but you love it, feel free to hit that applaud button just below your video screen there and send me some
donations.
Yeah, baby. See you on the next video.